holy shit, right? My first crypto purchase wasn't even Bitcoin, it was XRP. What a moron.
And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Like, look at this fucking candle.
Why is there so much stuff going on all the time? There's just like, I mean, like, so many new products, so many new initiatives. This new thing from
He pushed up the price for the last Lucid Drake to $42,000. And
what the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah. Welcome to Soul Brothers with my good friend Eno and myself, Simon, where it is our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole and show you around in our exciting ecosystem.
Our mission is to keep you on top with the latest and greatest of the Solana ecosystem so that you never run out of fun things to talk about with the homies. Hey, Simon, how are you doing? Your hair looks extremely different. I saw a tweet yesterday. What the fuck? What's going on here?
First of all, what hair? There's not a lot left. It actually grew back already, bro. It grew back since 2 days. So I have it back. It's coming. My barber told me it's going to take around 3 weeks, 4 weeks for me to have some proper hair again. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it. But yeah, there was a reason why I did that.
I do have a little context. I don't know the full story though. I just know that there was two Simons talking to each other, one bald and one very much with hair. So like, what's the? I mean, can you share like what was that all about?
You know the Solana ID videos and sketches we sometimes post on our Twitter, right? Like the
of
kind of funny videos. So we've been doing this for a while. Like every week almost, we're posting a video like this. Usually it is related to some sort of product announcement or something we want to tell the community in a fun way. So the genius idea of my dear friend and co-founder Pierre was to roleplay Mert. And you know, Mert on Solana has no hair. So the guy is bald with beard. And I was like, okay, then we were like thinking, okay, how do we do that? How do we logistically make that happen? Like I put a fucking stocking over my head or I get a bold mask or something. And then my genius idea was like, hey, Pierre, why don't I just shave my head? So what we did was in the morning, I went to record the Simon part of the interview. So the left side of the couch. And then in the afternoon, I came back after the barber with no hair and I recorded the Mert side of the interview. And now we're going to cut it together so that it looks like Mert is interviewing Simon, but both are played by myself. Genius. So basically this video is going to go out next week. You'll see it next week, probably on our Solana ID account. And it might be very funny. Basically, Mert is going to bull talk Solana ID and our token. And Simon is curiously asking about it. So that's basically the script.
I want to get a live viewing on the pod next week. Like I want to see it for real. Like,
let's do it.
I mean, I'll see it beforehand, or maybe it's better just to get my my real time reaction. But
exactly, let's do the real time reaction.
So that was Pierre's idea.
Yeah. I mean, Pierre is always the guy who's writing the scripts and he's coming up with the video ideas. He did that actually before crypto. Like my co-founder, before he entered crypto, he did performance marketing and he also did a lot of video advertisements for Web2 companies where he had to write viral scripts for social media, for Instagram, Facebook. So he knows how to catch attention with videos and what a good script looks like. Here's the thing, in crypto, on Twitter, we don't do that. Like almost no one does the kind of TikTok, Instagram viral video content, which is stupid because honestly, it is human psychology. It works. There is a good hook. There's a bridge into the actual topic of the video. Then you get to the point, and then there's a call to action at the end. It's always the same. 30 seconds, 60 seconds max. That's how it goes. But yeah, next week we're gonna see how that turns out.
But yeah, no, I almost feel like there's this kind of cultural resistance on Twitter to TikTok or Instagram-esque content. And I don't know if it just seems like uncool or what exactly the issue is, but it works, with the masses. Works, yeah. And so why wouldn't it work on Twitter as well? I mean, like I could see it not working on Blue Sky.
Yeah, especially Twitter. But we're degens. We're stupid. Like we're like the TikTok audience with a little bit more brain cells. That's how I would describe the Twitter. The Twitter is like TikTok with a little bit more opinionated content, and but we're just there to entertain ourselves, and that's
sure.
We're going to jump into this now in the stream as well, like always in our podcast. We're just going to talk about the things that are on people's mind that we want to dissect a little bit, right? That's what we do here. A quick overview of markets and where we're at right now in terms of prices, because I think
we got to go for the traditional setup. We got to tell me about the price action today. Fucking historic, right? Historic day.
Yep, it is. Let's check out real quick what the Bitcoin chart is doing right here. Let's first take a look at the clean chart and look what's happening here. So we are obviously going higher and higher. It all started on the 5th of November when the future president, Trump, got elected. And we got a slightly spike over there, up to the 75K. And then people were like, okay, what's going to happen next? Is this already the bull market that's going to kick off? Is this the banana zone? You remember our last podcast that we're entering?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think this happened next. So we crushed to the 90K. We entered this region. And since beginning, the second week of November, we're going sideways between like 90K and 100K. And we haven't really crossed the 100, but it happened right now. Last night it happened. When I was waking up today in the morning, I looked at my phone and I saw $101,000 per one Bitcoin. Now we're already at 102. So it looks very bullish to me still, especially in the longer charts. Like if we go in the 4 hour or even in the daily, we see some good God candles here that are just big daily candles. And I think if we look at the analysis a little bit deeper, we're right now in a big resistance zone. I think there's going to be some liquidity that can be grabbed between the 105 and $107,000 of Bitcoin. So I expect the price to maybe push a bit higher before a potential retrace might happen as well. But obviously in these regions right now where we're at, retracements are scarce because the price can always go higher. So let's see what happens if when the US market opens today, because those guys have been asleep when we crossed the 100K. I think it was Asia basically that made that happen. So let's see what happens when US wakes up and is able to trade those numbers. Excited to see. What do you think? Is you're literally here when it happened? You've been in the trenches when Bitcoin crossed 100K. It's a historical moment.
Yeah, no, one of our buddies, the co-founder of Wintermute, Yoan, he got 2 Bitcoin cakes like made today.
That's amazing.
And both of the cakes say like 100K, 100K. So I mean, it really is a historic moment. I remember the first time the first time I heard about Bitcoin, it was $20, and I'm kicking. Oh, well, first of all, that was back when the only exchanges were like I've never learned how to pronounce this exchange, but Mount Gox, the Japanese
Mt. Gox,
exchange.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was the only exchange I was aware of, and so like even if I had bought Bitcoin, I would have gotten rugged. But yeah, no, it's
Right.
just I'm very excited for all the Bitcoiners. We don't always agree. We don't always see eye to eye. But obviously, Bitcoin is the rising tide that raises all ships. So we should all just be grateful for Ethereum, not Ethereum, Bitcoin's price movement post Trump's election. But
yeah, and now here we are. Like fucking Bitcoin gonna be in the U.S. Treasury. It's in pension funds included. Institutions are trading it. Crossed the 100K. We have a Bitcoin president that's going to be elected, that was elected already, that's super bullish on BTC, that has his own NFT and meme coin collection, that has his own DeFi platform that he's building. Like, this is all nuts. Like, obviously it's crazily bullish, and it's actually a very controversial topic to dive into as well, because is that good for the industry or not? Don't we want more decentralization and less kind of centralized actors to dive into the space? But all in all, when prices go up, I think it's good for crypto. So let's just appreciate the moment.
Dude, forget institutions. Like I was calling my wife and I was like, "Why aren't you at dinner? We had dinner today." And then she's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm busy helping out my uncle." And I'm like, "What are you doing with your uncle?" And he's like, "He wants me to set up a BitThumb account." And BitThumb is like one of the biggest exchanges in Korea. And I'm like, "Why does he want you to help him set up because he doesn't know how to do the KYC, right? He's too old. He's like in his 70s." And I'm like, "Why is he having you set up a BitThumb account?" He's like, "He wants to buy Bitcoin." I'm like, "Oh my god."
That's amazing.
The 70-year-old Korean degens are coming, guys. So and they got money. They got legit money. Especially if they've been building businesses all throughout the last 50 years. They got millions of dollars that they're just sitting on cash, right? And the Korean won is kind of shit now.
Wow.
So if you have the opportunity to buy Bitcoin, why not? Digital gold.
Yep, they're coming back, and I think now it's a good time because we're getting the attention again from retail because prices are going up, but then we're also not there yet in terms of topping out. Like, it still looks good. Like, there's still air to grow into. I think I shared the rainbow chart the other day in the podcast as well, and we see that historically in the logarithmic chart of Bitcoin, we've reached much higher levels than where we at right now. So according to the rainbow chart, we should see 180K, 200K almost. So people will even now buy in and expect to get some profits, which is good because that will accelerate the price. Let's talk about what's happening on Solana.
Yeah, let's do it. We're starting off with Akshay's tweet, right?
Maybe do you want to help us to dissect this a little bit? Because Akshay posted this. Who's Akshay, for people who might not be so familiar with the Solana ecosystem?
Yeah, so Akshay is, as I understand it, he's one of the three initial founders of Super Team, right? So it's Cash Danda, it's Akshay, and Tanmay, who's a comedian based out of India, huge there. I don't think he's so much involved with Super Team anymore, but it was originally those three,
Mm.
as I understand it. And obviously, when they first started Super Team, that was done in collaboration with Solana Foundation. And so Solana Foundation is Super Team is essentially an extension of Solana Foundation. It just does a bunch of stuff that Foundation is not allowed to do because of its own legal structure, right? It's a foundation, so they're not allowed to promote Solana in particular ways. But Super Team allows them to kind of play, and so they get a lot of grants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so throughout that history of growing Solana and Super Team together, Akshay has also in a way, I think kind of works for Foundation now, but it's not quite clear to me what his role is there. But that's besides the point. The point is
probably
that he's a very respected figure. Yeah.
Maybe BD. Maybe that's his role. Just a wild guess. Maybe it's BD.
Not anymore. That guy's more of a thought leader now, more than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure, why not? Akshay BD.
But it is marketing, right? Which is his expertise. Like, I think he's just a good marketer. He knows how to communicate well. He knows how to put narratives into words that people understand. And that's what I think he's excelling at. And that's what he's also posted here. Like, he shared some notes with the internal Solana Foundation team, basically relating to I would say the direction of the protocol, right? The direction of the whole ecosystem, which he called the Internet Capital Markets and FET Protocol Engineering. What does that stand for?
Well, I'm flattered that you almost called me Pierre, because Pierre is a very good-looking man. But
sorry for that. Too many calls with the guy. Too many calls.
And he's not even French, which is another subject. But whatever. He's not. He's a fake Frenchie.
He hates that. He hates to be called French. Anyway,
I'm sorry, man, if your name's Pierre. But yeah, FAT stands for Founders, Apps, and Tokenization. So the gist of it is like, I've known a couple of people who've worked under Akshay before, and they say that when you work under Akshay, he's obsessed with focus. It's like almost one of the main things he talks about with people who are direct report is he gives them a very specific focus. And if they start to get a little crazy with the ideas, as crypto people will very often, he likes to recenter their focus. So I think this is very much in the same spirit of his normal thinking, which is like, look, guys, there's really three key things that we need to hammer on as an ecosystem, right? It's founders, apps, and tokenization, not tokens. It's different, right? So founders is quite obvious. Apps is also quite obvious. Don't need to belabor that either of those points. But tokenization, I think, is something worth talking about. So, I mean, like, do you want to talk about it a little bit? Perhaps
sure.
You talk about this a lot with some of the institutions that are coming on. So please take it away.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, like, we know that the North Star for Solana has been being the Nasdaq of the future, right? Be the decentralized Nasdaq. That's like even Toli and Raj, I think, used to say that publicly, which is good. But actually says it's not just to build a decentralized Nasdaq; it's to build an internet native successor to Nasdaq, which is different. It's capital markets with a better access, lower latency, and shared global liquidity. It's a future financial system. That's why we're in crypto for. That's why we find DeFi so exciting. And that's what I think he wants to focus on. That's what he wants to put into the focus of Solana Foundation as well, to kind of accelerate this. So I would just take a quick, brief kind of look at the thread he posted, because I think it's super valuable. 15% of humans can participate in US capital markets today, the most liquid market in the world. Crypto is both more accessible and more liquid than them. In peak periods, it has outranked Nasdaq volumes, which is crazy. Already now, crypto has done that in peak moments in terms of trading volume. So he shared charts like this, where you have 30-day trading volumes that are bigger on Binance than on Nasdaq and the NYSE, which is crazy. Binance obviously is not Solana. It's a centralized exchange. We want more liquidity on chain. We want more volume on chain. And I think that's what the Solana ecosystem stands for as well. I love this graphic as well, right? Like, this is pretty cool. like comparing Solana, to the kind of um, capital markets of the world that
Yep.
are already super established. And then basically I think it's a very fair comparison as well between all of them, because it's not one of those pictures where you kind of make the other one look super bad.
Oh, you mean like
Like,
every pitch deck ever where it's all
yeah,
like, here's cherry-picked features of the product, and as you
yeah.
can see, my product has all the X's, and this product has nothing.
Exactly. So let's just be honest, right? Where we at today. Let's be honest, and this is very honest, right? Internet capital
Yep.
markets today are not there yet fully, as you see in the overall score, because especially investor protections are not there yet fully. We might see that get better and better, and I think regulation is getting better and better. It just takes a lot of time.
I mean,
But
arguably, I'd almost put investor protections at like half a star, to be honest
yeah,
with
bro,
you.
like there's none really. Yeah, there's really none. Like compared to equity markets, not really.
No.
And then accessibility is like the one kind of killer use case that we have in internet capital markets, accessible for everyone all over the world, permissionless, decentralized on chain, which is the whole idea of it. It takes less than $2 and less than 2 minutes to go public, which is crazy.
Mhm.
That's basically comparing an ICO to an IPO, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty crazy. Anything else we want to touch on here? Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, with regards to tokenization, what he's specifically referring to is not just meme coins, right? Like,
Right.
obviously, there are hundreds of thousands of meme coins being launched at this moment during the bull. But
Mm,
what we need to see is true tokenization of all asset classes, right? So this would include real estate. It might even involve your car, right? Like, imagine being able to buy the deed to a car or like a registration to a car on chain, right?
mm,
There are all sorts of we talk about them incessantly, especially if you go to the conferences. People are always fucking barking about RWAs, RWAs, RWAs. But as much of as it is a meme, it also is reality, and or at least a reality that we're trying to build. And
mm.
it needs to. So currently, what we have is the pure, unfiltered, raw cocaine energy of meme coin markets, which is
Yeah.
fine and great and fun and provides all the yields for more serious DeFi. But
Mm-hmm.
also, like, going forward in the future, like we need to be launching more tokens that are not just based on pure raw attention, but actually have something collateralizing them. For example, a car or a house or gold or GPUs, like whatever the
Mm,
hell it is that you can tokenize. You would want that on chain.
mm-hmm. Importantly, the end state is Solana is the best venue to launch an asset on the internet. Um, nice North Star again. I think that's what you wanna double click on. And yes, we've seen a lot of tokens being launched on Solana, and memes have outsized the mindshare, obviously. But then I think this is another paragraph that I really like. He just wants to highlight that memes are not the only thing that's going up. Treasury doubled to 134 million. Stables went up 120% to 4 billion, and 4.2 thousand physical assets went on chain, and 190 million digital collectibles from Drip House and Helium's 1 million hotspots are just a few examples of just numbers that are skyrocketing throughout the ecosystem besides meme coins.
Absolutely. Love anything that Akshay writes. And yeah, I think we're going to talk about the general vibe in Solana. It's so interesting to have these semi-weekly conversations with you because they feel like time capsules of the energy of the moment,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it's very easy with, kind of recency bias to kind of forget, even just last week what the
Mm-hmm.
vibes felt
Oh,
like. And there
yeah.
certainly has been a shift in tone over the last week. But with Bitcoin hitting an all-time high, maybe the vibes will return. I mean, I wouldn't say that we're down and out, but again, there is a vibe shift. So you want to talk about this tweet from Gum?
Insane. In November, for every $10 traded in all crypto, $3.52 were traded on Solana. For reference, $1.88 for Ethereum and 4.36 for Ethereum, and all is L2. So that means like we have a huge share of the total kind of trading volume for the
A
crypto
third,
markets.
solid
It's a
third.
third. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
more than a third. That's crazy.
yeah.
And I think that's just crazily bullish for Solana, because so much is happening. What's the reason here? For the big kind of trading volume we see on Solana, I think it's memes, right? For now.
Obviously, right. And I think Pump.Fun is obviously leading. I mean, they have to be leading most of that volume or something. Like I couldn't imagine what else it would be. It has to be pump.fun.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, but I think it's just things like this are good to keep in mind sometimes when doing your research and your kind of thinking on buying assets, like Saul.
Yeah.
Just look at what direction is the market going, and I think if 1/3 of the total crypto trading is
Mhm.
happening on that ecosystem, it's a signal, right? It's a signal for adoption, it's a signal for use cases, and it's a signal for potential value accrual on the main asset of the chain, which is Solana.
Yeah.
But no financial advice.
Yeah. This next topic is, I think, a little sensitive. So we will
Mm,
treat this delicately.
yeah.
I quite frankly feel very uncomfortable talking about this as an American, just because because I grew up with the full cultural context of it,
Mm.
and I don't want to belabor it too much.
Should I feel
Uh,
uncomfortable as a German as well? Probably.
I,
But but honestly, I'm above this stuff. Like I feel like without I don't want to put my nose up, but
yeah,
um, it's just like I mean I understand. Okay, let's first tell people what we're talking about. We're talking about the N word that Meow used in a post that he made, right?
yeah,
Which appeared to be disrespectful to a lot of people and arguably was not something I would do on Twitter personally, right? I would never write the N word in a public post, especially not if I have 700,000 followers. So that's just because you don't want that shitstorm anyway. So I'm pretty sure that he kind of regret doing it. But I also know that crypto Twitter obviously blows up things a lot all the time. And there's just so many voices. It's a huge forum you have, right? Of hundreds of thousands, millions of people seeing that topic and jumping on it, right? And you hear a lot of opinions and it just spirals up. And I think that's what happened. We saw a lot of opinionated posts about that topic where people
yeah,
criticized Meow. Just one comment I want to make on it is to put things in perspective as always, right? This man is not an evil man. I don't think he has anything against any kind of minorities in the world. I met Meow multiple times. Eno is probably even closer with Meow. And I think he's a very sensible, kind human being, right? That does a lot of good things for the world. For example, building a future DeFi protocol or a DeFi protocol that has big time potential to transform the future of finance. And he made a lot of people happy with the Jup token, with everything that Jupiter stands for. So, yeah, it outweighs the good, outweighs the bad a lot here. And I think that's all I want to say to the topic because I don't even want to emphasize it much more than it has been already done on Twitter.
yeah. I guess this is a topic that I want to be very clear here. Like in terms of political spectrum as well as kind of like how I am from a temperament standpoint. I'm much more progressive and liberal, and so I do think that the historical reasons for believing certain things matter, right? Like history
Yeah,
matters. Like you should always take into account the full history of events or certain words. Now, but I think there's a line, right? So this isn't about cancel culture or you're not allowed to say certain things just out of principle. It's a tricky question of what do you do when you make a mistake online. I think unequivocally it was a mistake, right? Now, are certain mistakes just completely unforgivable? Is there, and especially if you take into account intention, right? Because I think intention matters a lot. And
yeah,
that's where you and I think, have more color than most people. Is that we know Meow to be a very decent human being, but at the same time, like if you don't know Meow and you have no relationship with him, and you're black, specifically a black American,
mm,
and you see a tweet like that, I mean, how would that make you feel? Honestly,
yeah,
right? Like,
yeah,
it would make you feel horrible. It'd make you feel like shit, right? So I
mm,
like I understand that as well. Like that cannot be discounted.
yep,
So it's just a matter of like I've never been able to square away in my mind like which crimes are truly unforgivable. So for example, like Harvey
mm,
Weinstein, or like just like a pattern of sexual abuse versus like
mm,
what's the path to redemption for someone who commits a very serious gaffe online, right? And it is,
mm,
in my mind, this
mm,
is a gaffe, right? It's a verbal slip up,
yeah,
and it was very bad, right?
yeah,
So is there a path to redemption for this? I don't know. And then you have this other camp of people, and these are the people I dislike the most, who are just like, it doesn't matter, it's just words, freedom of speech. It's like
Mm,
that's taking the side of just like pure ignorance, right? Like I refuse to learn why people would be upset about something like this. And so like my response is going to be, middle fingers up and fuck you essentially, right? Which is
mm,
just, I think, the ignorant and dumb position. And that's not the position that Meow took in my understanding. I think he very much
yeah,
tried to walk it back as much as he
yeah.
could in that situation, and did apologize and tried to speak to as many community members. So we'll move on from that. Meow, love you very much. But don't do that again, please.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not. It's a net negative for everyone, including himself,
Yeah.
right? So
And it's just wrong, but
yeah, yeah,
moving on, everybody makes mistakes. Holy shit, right? My first crypto purchase wasn't even Bitcoin, it was XRP. What a moron, right? I can't believe. And then when I got into
yeah.
Solana, I
Check this out.
sold it all, for Sol. And then,
Right.
which was the better bet, by the way, for various reasons. But I held XRP for years, and I bought my XRP before stablecoins were a thing. So using and bridges weren't really a part of the conversations because we didn't have L2s and competing L1s, and so like it made sense at the time to have this kind of volatile bridge token that was the original thesis, right? It was a bridge token that you would use to
Hmm.
exchange values. Do you know if XRP even does the bridge thesis anymore, or like what exactly is XRP now?
XRP is just trying to collaborate with as many institutional players and governments as possible to push crypto adoption into institutions and just facilitate payments mainly between banks and counterparties and so on.
Good.
So I think that's essentially what they do still, and what they've been standing for a while.
Mm.
XRP has been punched down a lot from regulators. They had a lot of shitstorm from the SEC, like even back here in that time, where we saw a lot of volatility. And now that the SEC seems to transform itself a little bit, and our dear friend Gary Gensler is going into his pension or whatever he's doing, I don't care. But at least we have some positive future in terms of regulation, and I think that just accelerated XRP a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Like, look at this fucking candle. Like, I don't even know what happened here. Like, for an asset like this, like, what is this weekly candle? Like, what is it? What like, it makes no sense. It's not like, it's literally, it's just Ripple. Like, and it already had a huge market cap down here. It was always in the top 10, I would say, of the
Yep.
in terms of market cap. So
Yeah.
it is a big fucking token. Like, they raised millions, if not a billion or something,
No,
in
it was
ICO.
over a billion. Yeah, yeah, over a
Yeah,
billion. Yeah,
so they have
insane.
money. That's why all this phase here, since like 1, 2, 3, 4 years, they don't give a shit. They still kept doing things because they don't rely on the price going up. But this here now just obviously made people very aware of the project again. So you saw Ripple trending on Twitter, you saw it in Google Trends going up, you saw people talking about it, because how can you not if this happens? It's like a 500% almost increase. Within like a month. Yeah.
Dude, who knew that the next TikTok meme coin wasn't gonna be like
Yeah.
a variant of Chill Guy? It was like literally in terms of TikTok retail investments, it goes
It's
Chill Guy
XRP.
and then
Mm.
XRP. It's like like that was not on my 2024 bingo card. XRP is gonna, yeah, XRP is a banking meme coin. So hell, I think that's a very fair point.
Yeah. But I probably favor it, like, in terms of, do I don't even know. Like, compared
Yeah,
to the actual meme coins, because at least they do have partnerships with a few governments, and they do stuff like they're trying to push crypto adoption. So yeah, but anyway, XRP is not Solana, so let's stop here. It does add fuel to the whole crypto movement right now, and the kind of momentum we have already, which is good, and it will also flow into the Solana ecosystem. That kind of momentum helps us to go
yeah,
up. But let's
yeah,
chat a little bit about what's happening on Solana, in the ecosystem, in the trenches. What are
yeah.
projects doing? What are some project updates, Emo? Let's go through them
Oh,
quickly.
God, why is there so much stuff going on all the time? There's just like, I mean, like, so many new products, so many new initiatives. This new thing from Monkey DAO. Super curious about what this is. I did see it. I know Jemmy and Cersei and the whole team is doing a great job. So is it just like, is it 25 days of Christmas monkey style? What exactly is going on here?
Yeah. So basically, there's prices every day, like a little advent calendar, right? You have
Oh,
24 days, 24 days. Yeah, 24 prizes you can win as part of the, how do they call it? Yeah, 24 days of Monkey. That's what they call it, I think, officially. And yeah, did you? I haven't seen it, but did you see the claw machine at Breakpoint? Do you know what they refer
Yes.
to? What was that?
So the claw machine was literally like a kind of those kind of grabber type machines where you could grab, balls out of this gaming machine. And
Hmm.
inside the balls were different prizes that you would earn, like a banana smoothie or like a plushie or maybe even an SMB. I'm not even quite so sure what all the prizes were. Didn't have time to stop by the booth,
Hmm.
except for when they were setting it up. But wasn't able to like go throughout all the breakpoint because I missed half of it. But anyways,
Cool.
yeah. So I mean, you had to get tokens. You could either purchase the tokens with bananas from the banana stand, which is kind of like their point system in a way,
Hmm. Yep.
or I think you could have sold soul. But each token gives you a play, obviously.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cool. And I think now they basically claim that or they that it is what they say. It's the same thing, just digitally. But yeah, basically you need to connect Solflare. They have a partnership with Solflare for this, which is amazing, really cool. And then you can yeah, basically win something every day. I think obviously Monkey holders have more spins and more chances to win something because they hold a monkey, obviously. But everyone can basically spin here and can play the game. So monkeys can claim a Christmas coin every day during the event for free play. And then once your free coin is used, you can keep playing with Sol in the public mode, but it's not expensive to play. And over $50,000 of prizes are in that machine, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I remember my first NFT was a monkey. I bought it
Hmm.
right after we launched at Ho Chi Minh Hacker House. Like we launched, I met my first monkeys over there. They put me into a group chat, and they bullied me into buying a monkey. They were like, "Hey, you want to stay in this chat? Win monkey, win monkey, win monkey." I was like, "You fuckers!" So I got it, and that was my first NFT. So once monkey, always monkey, I suppose.
That's really cool, man. No, I
Yeah.
love the monkeys. I love the monkeys as well. Really good people, and we at Solana ID also collaborating a bit with them, obviously, which makes a lot of sense. Great community of builders.
And monkeys were expensive back then, like very, very expensive. I think it was like
Mm,
almost like 120 soul,
mm,
I mean, for me, was quite a bit. For like because especially someone not familiar with NFTs or NFT culture, I was like, how could this possibly be worth this? This is insane.
right now, they went up a bit in price again. They're performing really well right now.
Yeah,
Which
there was a
is nice.
pump. There's only a
Mm,
few communities that I really think will do well. It's Monkey DAO, Mad Lads, Boogle, Lucid Drakes, Dead King Society. A lot of these one for one collections make sense to me.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know that there's a bunch of look. I'm aware of Azuki. I'm aware of Galactic Geckos. I'm aware
Mm-hmm.
of these other generative projects. No
Yeah.
disrespect to them. It's just that I think in terms of like really strong community, kind of the five that
Mm.
I talked about. Those are my top five like goated picks. I'd own all of them if I could. But some of them, like the Boogles, are like goddamn like 350K. I don't have that lying around.
It's crazy. Have you seen the last Lucid Drake auction? Because I'm highly involved since I'm trying to get one since half a year. Have you seen what happened?
I think it's a Basquiat, right? So it's a Basquiat inspired Lucid Drake. What's going on there?
It was like I was obviously going for it again, as always. First time when I tried to buy one, it got sold for like 10K, and that was like almost half a year ago. And I was like, oh wait, wow, those guys are, they're killing it. It's expensive. It's an expensive NFT. Then I tried
Right.
again, 15K. Then the next auction came up, 20K. Then next
Yeah.
auction came up, 27K. And every time I tapped out because I was like, fuck, like those guys are always like Super Simon bought one before me, Dirt bought one before me, like a few
Yeah.
people. And now fucking Kevin Recoy, GM Kevin, like if you see that, thanks for battling with me. But like he pushed up the price for the last Lucid Drake to $42,000, and
What the fuck?
yeah, yeah, I did take part in the auction until a high moment, but at 30 something, I was like, this guy is not going to stop. I checked his wallet and he had like $800,000 worth of Solana on there. I was like, I think he's just gonna buy it for whatever because he wanted that exact NFT because it looked so dope. And I was like, just
It is. It's. I mean, it's arguably the best Lucid Drake that they've released. I remember I'm kicking myself now because I do remember that 10K auction,
Mm,
and I'm like, man, I should have just bought it
yes.
because Dan has been on my ass to join the den for the longest
Yeah.
time, and
Same.
I feel bad that I didn't join it earlier. But honestly, like I just did not have I mean, I have to ask the wife for permission for certain purchases, and I do. I'm a married man. My funds are her funds. And
Yep.
NFTs are always a hard sell for her. It's very, very hard sell. Even my first monkey, I had to ask for permission, and she's like, "You want to buy what with what?" I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, listen."
Yeah. Yeah. It's a hard sell, bro. It's a hard sell. I also have to ask my wife, but Pierre is okay with it. But at least until a point, I think.
The Solana ID account is about to text here like, "What'd you say?"
Financial decisions always with a wifey. Anyway, what else? What are we touching on in terms of Solana ecosystem projects?
Yeah.
Vector.fun, what the heck?
Vectordotfun is a new project released by the Tensor team. I've had the pleasure of speaking with Ilmoy a couple of times, and I think he's been feeling a little bit of existential dread, even going back to earlier this year, about the future of Tensor. Obviously, Tensor had a very successful token launch. They launched it with the Meteora DLMM at that time. I just remember that it was so striking because they were, I think, one of the first teams, even before Drift, to use kind of like Meteora / Jupiter's infrastructure to launch their token. I hadn't seen that, but I mean, I did see it
Mm,
on LFG. I just hadn't seen it without the LFG component. It was just like purely just the tech itself. That was a very successful airdrop. I think a lot of happy customers there. Obviously, probably the volume for NFT trading has gone down. And so
mm,
naturally, what would you do if you're a team of cracked engineers and you're looking towards the future? Well, the current speculative asset now is meme coins. And so Vector.fun, as I understand it, is a meme coin trading experience that you do with your friends. So I don't have an access code yet. I will have to bug some of my friends for an
yeah.
access code. It is live on both the Apple and Google Play stores. And again, my understanding is that, yes, ape memes with friends. So it's essentially copy trading with your friends, maybe even trading by committee. Um, I love the visuals for Vector.
Yeah.
Like this kind of blue aesthetic is,
Mm-hmm.
and also a lot of the graphics are like photos of like soldiers in the trenches. It's just perfect. I
Funny.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Ilya and the team did such a great job with Vector. I'm super excited to use this and try this.
Yeah. No, same. 100%. I think it's also a good time right now after Pump.fun got a lot of hate for good
Yeah,
reason to come up with an alternative solution and a kind of worthy competitor. So I think back to that fund definitely has that potential, especially with the backing from Tensor. That's huge.
I did not know that they were launched on Base. That is something I did not know. That's
Me neither.
BM to Vector.fun. Vector is that's pretty sick, man. Getting a direct shout out from Coinbase. I mean, the team is based out
Hmm.
of the States, so it would make sense that they would try
Mm.
to do that. But that's very cool,
Interesting.
awesome. So hopefully, with the Trump presidency, one of the silver linings is that we will have free and open meme coin trading going
Nice.
forward. And we're gonna keep this just right on rolling. You could just keep sharing my screen, bud, because we
Oh.
got another product. Yeah, Meteora. They've released a new. I want to call it a feature. It's not really a new product, right? Um, so this feature allows you to stake meme coins for meme coin rewards, which is like very cool. So the idea is that the top 999 people by amount staked. So like if you had like 10 million, you'd be like number one in the leaderboard. If you had like 5 units of a
Hmm.
meme coin, you probably wouldn't even be on the leaderboard. You would
Hmm.
probably be so basically, if you want to stay on the leaderboard, you have to keep staking more tokens, which creates like a what they call it a PPP mindset. So it's kind of all about growth of the token. And like, why would you care about being in the top 999 investors or stakers of a token? Because a portion of the trading fees go directly into paying stakers, right? So as of launch yesterday, or technically today, at like 2 a.m. My time, anyways. Uh,
Hmm.
they they collected, I think, $3.7 million in fees that will be distributed on a daily basis to the top 999 stakers. And they want this to be the new paradigm for meme coins, where there's this virtuous cycle of buy meme coin, stake it, try to be in the top 1,000. A portion of the trading fees go into stakers. You want to be higher in the ranking because you will accrue
More
more
fees.
staking fees, and the fees come
Mm,
from trading fees
right.
of the token itself. So that's cool. I like it.
Interesting. Interesting. So it's basically a good incentive overall for people to hold memes and not dump them. So they basically
Yes.
build a system for that, right? To keep them stake. What kind of memes can I put there?
So they are working in partnership with a token called M3M3, which is just pronounced meme.
Hmm.
And like I said before, they've collected $3.5 million in trading fees so far, or it might even be an allocation that was given to them by
Hmm.
the meme team. I'm not quite so sure about that. Um, Top Wallet has 3 million in meme staked, and so they're printing 7.3K a day. So
Wow.
not only is it so basically the paradigm for meme .meteora.ag, the paradigm here is not only is it a race to buy, right, but it's also a race to stake. And there's also a cooldown period for your unstake, and so like you're kind of incentivized to keep your money there for a little while as you accrue fees.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm really curious what this will mean for meme coins in general. Like, what's the most successful version of this product look like? Like, I have a hard time believing that we'll have hundreds of thousands of successful meme coins. That just doesn't compute for me, right?
No. Yeah, it
Um,
doesn't work.
but certainly, I could see, yeah, I mean, I could see, this platform itself, birthing five or perhaps even a dozen really successful
Hmm.
meme coins that do it particularly well. Because your social media game still has to be strong. Your fundamentals still have to be strong. So like this isn't going to solve it for
Of
you.
course.
But if you're a solid team, and then you have a
Hmm.
staking mechanism, it might actually work for you.
100%. I mean, a lot of coins do it anyway, right? By themselves. They implement some sort of staking
Yeah.
for themselves. And I think now they have a platform to do it. Just one question, like right now there's only meme on it, like only the
Yeah.
one token that you can use. But in the future, they want to open this for kind of a lot of meme coins that decide to,
Oh, any
yeah.
project that wants to, yeah, you could use this
Mm.
platform to provide staking for your
Hmm.
users and provide them with juicy rewards. So um,
Hmm.
I saw this. Do you remember RG from Orca?
Of course.
Yeah, yeah. So he has this really funny meme. You've seen that meme where like they stick like a piece of tape on like a giant barrel of water that's just like leaking water, and that tape is like magic tape that just like plugs the hole.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's all like devs, and then
Yeah.
on the tape is just staking, and they just put
Yeah,
it on.
yeah, exactly, exactly. That's what I was thinking of as well. Like, okay, we
Yeah,
need to find some reason to increase the demand for our token. Oh, let's just implement staking. And then I'm like, guys, staking is for blockchains that are proof of stake, to validate the
yeah, yeah,
system. Like, why do you need
yeah,
staking? And it's like
yeah.
it makes, but I mean, I understand the mechanism, right?
I
But this
mean,
is
it's how
cool.
you reduce sell pressure. So I mean, theoretically, it works for
Yeah, and
sure.
this is cool. This is new. I love that again. I want to see more innovation again
Yeah.
in crypto and DeFi right now because I felt like like DeFi summer was crazy, but that's been 4 years, and there was so much new stuff coming out all the time. People were just tinkering, experimenting, falling down, standing up again, pivoting. And right now it feels like too mature already, but we're not. Like we need to keep innovating, especially in those kind of sectors because meme coins are still broken. Like it's not figured out yet how that stuff works, and most of the people are losing money. If you scroll down a bit, I think the
Yep.
second post is pretty good. Like we have a problem.
Yeah. Sure.
99% of meme coins go to zero, right?
That's
Like
true.
1.2 million new tokens launched in Pump.Fun and 1.4% migrated to DEX. The other ones all went to shit. And 0.05% tokens surpassed 1 million market cap, which is nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we need to have systems in place that can solve that. And I think Meteora did a good move. So, shout out. Good stuff.
I totally agree with you, and this is a bit of as much of a Solana maxi as I am. This is a bit of a criticism to the ecosystem. Most of our best products aren't copy pastes of things that have existed before,
Yeah.
and sure that we might make some slight modifications because like we have the performance to actually do certain things that you can't do on Ethereum or just be cost prohibitive too. Like Meteora is, a variant of Trader Joe's, right? I think the only truly innovative product that we've had that feels like a product of Solana itself is Pump.Fun. I'm not quite so sure if there's anything else like it before it, right? Like it
Mm,
feels like a
mm,
truly original idea. And by the
yeah,
way, there's no shame in taking, like let's say GMX style perps and then turning it into but doing it for Solana. So now it's called Jupiter perps, right? But like the
yeah, yeah.
underlying architecture and logic of it is GMX style perps. And, I'll give credit where credit is due. I mean, most of it comes from Ethereum, so that that is what it is. I hope that someday they will see the light and start developing here.
I mean, it is happening, right? Like we do
That's
have
true.
great projects and teams pushing for new things. But I think this is Meteor is a good example. So Mudang was listed on Coinbase. Mudang was the meme coin that came probably like 1.5 months ago ish. I don't even know anymore the exact date it was, but it feels like it was around that time. Um, what animal is it? A hippo? I don't even know.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
baby hippo. Yeah, you're
yeah, it's a
correct.
baby hippo from some zoo somewhere in the world that got a lot of attention. And Elon Musk obviously started to talk about it as well, and it just got a lot of attention as a meme, and it exploded. So it was one of the memes next to Peanut and those guys and Chill Guy that managed somehow to get the attention they wanted, to catapult themselves into millions of market caps now, or hundreds of millions of market caps. Now, lastly, Coinbase launched it or listed it on their exchange, and yeah, what happened next? The price exploded. So once more, Mudang is not dead. It kind of came back strong, and I think now people are just waiting for yeah, some next move. I would say in terms of maybe other listings that could come up. So I think people are now speculating on Binance.
Yeah. So Mudang is currently sitting at 465 million.
Yeah, not
And
bad.
I don't know. It's not back to all time highs.
No,
I'm a little
it's
I'm a little bearish on
yeah,
centralized exchange list. Okay, no, I'm not bearish, but it's just like, it's not
I
it's
know.
not a guarantee that you're. It used to be almost a guarantee that if you were listed on a centralized exchange, like, your token would pump.
Yeah.
And like in this case, Mudang, it didn't even get to an all-time high, and it's kind of slowly petering. And maybe I'll be proven wrong. And there was a huge big dick green candle, once there was an announcement, like huge. I don't know who that was. Perhaps even Coinbase based themselves. No idea.
Yep, yep. I agree with you. I'd navigate this with caution. They're already
Mhm.
pretty expensive to buy, and the question is, where do they go? What's the value they provide to the world, and what's their value proposition, basically? Where that keeps them going higher? Like, because now Coinbase listing was a good example. The price shoots up and it retraces almost half the way down again. Was the
Yeah.
listing like a huge deal for them? You can argue about it, right? It's not sustainable. Anyway,
Yeah.
we have a big topic on the agenda. Last but not least, which is a personal thing for you, very personal, I would
Yeah.
say, because it is your baby. What happened with ISC, and what did we see there on Richard's, your co-founder's Twitter timeline?
Yeah. If you're watching this podcast, and you probably already know, because you're either a friend of ours or you've read that tweet. Um, so currently, I work at Ranger. No, just kidding.
I was like, what?
um, yeah. How do you think I got this T-shirt? I work for Ranger now.
Right.
No, I love Fatu. Fatu's great.
Nice.
But so what's very strange about okay, so here's the tagline, the newspaper headline. Um, ISC will no longer be actively promoted, and that is the accurate description. ISC will no longer be actively promoted. The core team is pivoting to a project called FX Swap, which is Forex on chain. I won't go into that because that's not really what's important here. And the reason why the core team is pivoting from ISC full time promotion to FX Swap full time development and promotion, um, is because we won the payments track for the Radar Hackathon, which was a huge thing for us. We actually got a lot of inbound interest from investors. We also got an offer to join the Radar, the Coliseum incubator. So we had I can't disclose numbers, but like we had money on the table that we could have
Yeah.
taken. There are a lot of reasons why we decided to stop actively promoting ISC. But I think the biggest one is mostly just comes down to money and traction,
Mm,
right?
mm,
Like no matter how you slice it, the traction for ISC has been abysmal. Like obviously we've seen lots of traction with the point system, but it's not enough to justify
yeah.
burning another $1 million in investor cash. Like I don't have confidence that if we threw in another $1 million, that we
Hmm.
would make the type of headway that we would need to for
Hmm.
ISC. Whereas the play for FX swap is so much more obvious, right? Um, and if FX swap does well, ISC will also do well for reasons that I also won't go into. So actually, the better thing to do is to focus on FX swap full time, and then ISC. They the core team might pick up ISC. I keep saying core
Hmm.
team because I'm no longer a part of the core team.
That is
Um,
also
my
a news, yeah, to
yeah
share with people.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that shocks a lot of people. I feel like a free market agent.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I respect it a lot, by the way, and I think you guys did a very bold decision, yourself as well, because I think other founders might have done something else. They might have done, oh, I don't give up. Like that, there's this kind of mentality, this founder mentality of being so stubborn that you don't want to let go, right, of something that you should let go. And you guys are not like IC is not dead, right? Like the token is there, everything is existing, and I can still hold it, I can still buy it. But you
Yep.
guys just stop putting money and effort in promoting it and focus on something
Yep.
that provides a bit more potential, right? Which is a
Yep.
smart move, a bold move, but a smart move. So I just wanted to give you guys all a shout out for the decision.
But honestly, I might rejoin ISC again if they were to refocus on it. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like ISC. Well, most of my I mean, maybe I shouldn't disclose this, but most of my on-chain assets are in ISC. ISC is going to continue to be fully collateralized, pegged. So that's not the issue, right? It's just like, are
Yeah,
we going to burn more cash into the marketing? Are we going to burn more cash into incentives? Are we going to burn more cash on developing platforms for ISC? Are we going to burn more
yeah,
cash onto integrations? I mean, it's just kind of like, no, we're not going to do that anymore. And again, my reasons for not joining FX Swap are also equally complex. But the short of it is that I really fell in love with stablecoins, and that's something that I want to continue to do. I don't know in what capacity. I'm not that interested in a DEX, even though I am very bullish on it, like extremely bullish.
hmm,
But it's just so outside of the scope of what I originally wanted to do. And I might even come back to Richard in a couple of months, like begging, like, hey, can I can I
yeah,
work on FX? It's very possible, but right now I've decided to give myself a break. Yeah, figure out what we're doing next. Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, sorry for that little diatribe there, but yeah, that's kind of what's going on. I think you knew a couple of days before we announced it, and it
Yeah.
was the decision was made very recently. This is it's
Mm,
not something we've been sitting on for a very long time. So yeah, it did take us a little while to figure out like how exactly, like, who did we need to contact first.
hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, enough of that. So now I'm focusing on Soul Brothers at the very least. Like this is definitely a key interest of mine, is just
Yeah.
continuing to talk about stuff that's going on in Solana. Like this is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, and I hope people can see that we're experimenting, trying to progress, and making this bigger and better. We're gonna live stream all the recordings going forward. We're gonna do it almost in a weekly capacity whenever we have the time to it, and we're really push
Mhm.
for doing this on a weekly capacity because as you guys see, we've been talking now for an hour already, and it's been a lot to cover, and we didn't cover everything we wanted to. So we should definitely keep a weekly cadence. Let's share the major events that are coming up in the Solana ecosystem for people who are interested. What's happening IRL in Solana? What kind of chances do you have to get in touch with founders, projects, but also users somewhere in the world? And I think the next thing that's coming up would be Katztanbul.
We'll keep this very short and sweet, but for people who need to know, Catstanbul, it's a conference that's all about Jupiter, funded by the Jupiter team. They have, I don't know the exact numbers. I'm just ballparking off of some stuff that Soju told me. I think he told me that they have like $1 million set aside for subsidies, which is insane. So they're subsidizing up to $2,000 per person to
Really?
go fly to Istanbul, yeah, and get
Cool.
accommodation.
That's really
So
cool.
like obviously priority goes to people who have been supporting the Jupiter mission all this time, active in Discord, providing feedback to the team. But yeah, it's they truly. I've never seen a team do this before. This is
Hmm. Mhm.
Literally insane. I don't actually, now that I think about it, I don't think the full million is just for subsidies. It has to be for the conference, but a portion of that is for subsidies, is my point.
Yeah.
And I've already seen some people on the timeline get their emails for the subsidies. So it's just an incredibly
Cool.
kind thing to do, which
Yeah.
again, I think gels with our understanding of who Meow and the Jupiter team is. They're incredibly generous. They want people who have never been able to go, because again, we talked about this before. We take it for granted, I think, sometimes that like we're able
Mhm.
to go to these conferences, but they're truly people who have never been to one, and so this would change their life in a very
Yeah.
meaningful way. So I'm very excited for this. Cat Bull is going to be in 50 days, 5 hours, 10 minutes, and 25 seconds.
Nice. That's pretty
Yeah,
accurate. So for everyone who wants to apply and go there, I think Fun would be the right venue to head over.
yeah.
And then I think, is there an application form that you can submit, or how does it work?
Yeah, there are two applications forms. So one is a Luma. So you would have to go dig this up on Twitter. So one is going to be a Luma where you apply, and
Mhm.
I think you actually have to provide a refundable deposit of 99 USDC. This is to cut out on spam, right? Like only
Mhm.
serious people would actually send 99 USDC. And then the second way that you can apply is through the subsidy, which is the Airtable. So what I would do is I mean literally what I did is I just went on Twitter and I searched for
Right.
cat stem bull, and then I was able to find the link. So for anyone who's interested, go look over there
Yeah.
on Twitter. You'll find it. You'll be fine.
And then next up, we have Flow Bali, which is, I think, also called Solana Temple, right? If you want to look it up on Twitter. And what it is, it's a month-long retweet in Bali where founders can get together. Actually, the team is trying to assemble around 50 teams, 50. They have a huge accommodation with place for more than 100 people to bring under there in a basically in a, how do you call it? It's like a recreational resort center where you have gym access, you have a co-working space, an office. Teams can also get dedicated offices if they want to against the price. And then there's going to be a schedule as well, a program where you can take part in daily wellness activities like meditation, yoga, CrossFit. Obviously, we're on Bali, right? It's like this is what people on Bali do, I think. But you can also do hiking, surfing, and obviously we're founders, so there's going to be weekly pitch practices, demo days, workshops, and so on. But it's a nice kind of symbiosis between working and getting shit done and getting together with founders and taking care of yourself and progressing. They will literally do a performance tracking when you come with like a body analysis and everything. And then you can do one after as well to see if you progressed not only in business but also personally and on your health journey. So growth and wellness are the two key parts they're promoting here. This is mainly done by Ivan from Nomads and Venture Launch, together with the FOMO guys. In this case, George is helping out here and is supporting, which is really cool. So it's a nice project. Obviously, as you can see, like we're going to be there. So me and my co-founder are definitely going to be there for almost the full time, trying to connect with the other teams on Bali. And the good thing about it as well, it's not too expensive, right? Like Bali is quite cheap, so you can get an accommodation for 1 month, I think already for around $1,000, which is pretty good. It's pretty decent for nice apartment.
Well, that's freaking awesome, and I'm really looking forward to all that George is cooking up in Bali with Flow. I actually have a call with him in like 30 minutes, so I'll dive right into it with him.
Yeah, and I think we should wrap it up. It has been a
Yes.
pleasure as always. We've covered a lot of ground today, as usually, talking about markets, talking about projects on Solana and upcoming events, and we're going to do it again. So next week, there's most likely going to be another live stream and also another recording. If you see this on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, or on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channels, like the video if it's on YouTube, show us some love because we are planning to make the Soul Brothers much, much bigger than they are right now.
Yup.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and being part of this amazing journey. And we see you guys at the next one.
Thanks, everybody. Take it easy.